Warning. The content on this channel is not intended or suitable for minors below 13 years of age. If that is you, please click off and come back when you're older. By continuing beyond this point, you affirm that you are 13 years of age or older.
What's up? What is going on, swearers? We are back with part 5 of Astrologaster, and so there's a lot of really cool little asides and writing things in here. The music is phenomenal. The voice acting is actually quite good. This is just such a well-done game. And it also has now introduced the word chunder to my lexicon. Chunder being puking, which obviously has sort of a rhyming to thunder, so very nice. Yes, very nice. Alright, so let's get back into it.
Good morrow, Dean Blag. How fare you this day?
Well, Dr. Foreman, I must own that I do not fare well. For my recent investments have left me in a rather vexing financial position.
Really? That is ill to hear.
Aye, Sir Walter Raleigh's quest for El Dorado failed most woefully, just as you predicted. His ships did return loaded with a few sacks of worthless root vegetables. I cannot fathom it. We are Englishmen. We do not eat vegetables.
Aye, a disappointing outcome indeed.
Oh, but that's all by the by. For you will be pleased to know that I put my remaining fortune into a new venture so assured of success that I will make all my money back and more.
Oh boy.
Assured, you say? How very reassuring.
I have invested in an expedition to intercept a fleet of Spanish ships carrying gold back from the New World. For this expedition, Sir Walter Raleigh will be joined by that famous military genius, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. So success is virtually guaranteed. There is but one small worry, however.
Ah, only one?
Aye. 'Tis that Raleigh and Essex set sail full 2 months past, but there is yet no tidings of them. Such silence is a trifle vexing. Have they yet captured the Spanish treasure ships? Surely no ill has befallen them.
A most vexing mystery indeed. Let us see whether the stars can tell us what has become of this expedition.
Yes. 2, 3. Okay, so we're gonna go with 2.
Aye, forsooth. It is no surprise you have not yet received tidings, for though good angels do guide events in your favor, it will take some time, for they are very aged angels, and as such are tiresome slow. Indeed, 'tis well you are a man adept at creative thinking and partaking of leisurely pursuits, for you will have many hours to fill while you wait.
Very wise advice indeed. I have merely to exercise the Christian virtue of patience, and doubtless all will end well.
Doubtless. Give me my letter. Oh, fuck right off. I do hope the angels guide the fleet home soon. I have heard a storm is coming. Get out of here.
Why must this wench act so distressed? Perhaps she can't abide the jest. Oh, word of love and his professed. What an ungrateful lady! What an ungrateful lady!
You guys are tough.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Pray, come in and take comfort by the fire. The wind is fierce and cold this day.
Did you see him this time, Dr. Foreman? He did it again. He ran off the moment he saw me.
See who, madam?
Your patient, Signor Ferraro.
Ah, verily? Indeed, I was expecting him to come for a consultation this day. But he changed his mind and ran off, you say? Huh, how very mysterious.
Truly, 'tis as if all men are determined to use me ill.
Surely not all men, madam. I, for one, remain most devotedly at your service. My dear lady, I do not need to read the stars to see that something grave has befallen you. Pray, tell me what it is.
Yesterday I did meet with Mr. Shakespeare to discourse upon our new play, which is to open this week at the theatre in Shoreditch. But though I was determined not to confront him about the sonnets he wrote about me, 'twas difficult to hide the heaviness I did feel in his company.
I can well imagine, madam.
So then, well, he remarked upon my dark humour. To wit, he said to me, "Emilia, your pretty brow does furrow, so I will kiss it smooth."
And I sense that you did not receive this well?
Indeed I did not. Forsooth, I was so enraged by this, I reversed my flagon of ale full over his head.
Ah.
Whereon he rose from his stool, declaring I was the most ungrateful and unworthy wench in all of Christendom, and then he flew out of the tavern like a bat from out the gates of hell.
A most vivid image, and no doubt most apt. Men who work in playhouses are prone to indulging in such melodrama, of course. Why so many ladies care for such men in preference of those employed in solid, stable professions, I shall never understand.
And if only that were all. For this morning I saw a bill advertising our play posted on a wall in my street. It bears his name and not mine.
Verily? Surely not. Mayhap there has been some error made.
Nay, Dr. Foreman, 'tis no error, for I rushed to the theatre to see what was amiss, but I was refused admittance. Indeed, the player who came to the door denied all knowledge of my collaboration on the play. Methinks Mr. Shakespeare is exacting his petty vengeance upon me for rejecting his sly suit by denying me credit for my work, and he means to deal with me by pretending I do not exist, as if I were a ghost. Or is it he who has become the ghost? In truth, I am not yet sure how that metaphor should work.
What monstrous perfidy! Pray tell me what I might do to punish this wretched scribbler. Though I am not adept with a sword, I do have a book that instructs in how to command nefarious spirits.
Oh, prithee, sir, I am come not in search of vengeance, but to seek answers. As you know, I have been ill-treated by my husband, and now I am betrayed by Mr. Shakespeare. Pray, read the stars and answer me this, Dr. Foreman. Will I ever be able to trust, even love, a man again?
I have one choice.
To your question of whether there yet be a man in this world worthy of your trust and affections, forsooth, I have never seen an arrangement of stars that speaks so clearly.
Verily? Then pray tell, what answer does it give?
My dear lady, the answer you seek need not be divined by reading the stars. It may be read in the signs you see before you now. To wit, the answer you seek is right in front of you.
I am afraid I do not follow, Dr. Foreman. 'Tis your feather quill, a half-eaten apple, your desk is a little untidy, and
love that apple.
The symbolism in Flemish still life painting has always quite confounded me. Take a skull, for instance. What sense does a skull make alongside a bowl? Below. 'Tis clear to me now, your face was always hid in shadow, but 'tis you, Mr. Foreman. You are the man who has been prowling me these last months.
Dearest, loveliest Amelia, allow me to profess to you my undying admiration for your charms, which are not insignificant.
God's womb, and too, Dr. Foreman. Fie, you of all men to betray me thus. But 'tis true. I now see the answer. For I know now never again to trust a man to guide me. Henceforth I shall write under my own name, and when there are decisions to be made, I shall take my own counsel and make my own judgments. Farewell, Dr. Foreman.
Okay.
And clean your desk. Verily, it is quite disgusting.
We're not getting the letter there. Okay. Oh. we women will achieve equal treatment even if it takes us 100 years. It might take a little longer than that, unfortunately. All right. Sir, I must thank you for your diligent care of my husband, Nicholas. Your efforts to disabuse him of his fanciful notions are much appreciated by his family. Please continue to speak true to him, that he may one day come to his senses and peace may be restored to our household.
Lancelot Moore is of a great house. Much does depend, much, on his choice of a spouse. He must be well, his tongue is wealth. No matter the cost, to love and to have.
Good day to you, young sir, and well met. You are Lancelot Moore of Middlesex, are you not? What an honour it is to welcome a son of the great house of Moore to my humble consulting chambers.
'Tis indeed I, Lancelot Moore. I will own it. But hear this. My family is ignorant of my designs in coming here, and I wish them to remain so. Which is why I come to you, Mr. Foreman, for methinks you are not such a man who would ever find himself in the company of a family such as ours.
You may count upon my discretion, Mr. Moore. And what is the matter that brings you this day?
'Tis that my family wish me to marry my wretched cousin Barbara.
And I take it you would not wish to comply.
Nay, I verily would not. Cousin Barbara is a vile little minx. She loves nothing more than to sport with me and play cruel japes. Last Christmas, she even hid a dead mouse in my
That's
mince
sanitary.
The lady does seem most spirited.
The lady? Oh, pish. Cousin Barbara is hardly a lady, for she is not 14 years of age. It is most unnatural to ask a grown man to wed a child.
Indeed it is. 'Tis my belief that in these enlightened times we should consider...
Verily, Barbara be damned. My heart belongs to a true woman, not a freckled, scrawny slip of a girl. A full-blossomed woman.
A woman, you say?
I, Marion, my other cousin.
I see.
Ah, Marion. So beguiling are her shapely charms. Oh, to lie, if not to die, in Marion's arms. So soft her lips, so sweet her face. Oh, how I yearn for her embrace. In me she hath such passion stirred, a fever rise.
What the fuck?
Nay, I pray for death, and would be
That was
martyred if from
weird.
her I be thus parted. And so you see, you must help me forestall this wretched marriage, so that I might wed my sweet cousin Marion. Mr. Foreman? Mr. Foreman?
Yes, indeed. Let us see what the stars advise. How might Mr. Moore avoid this marriage to his cousin Barbara?
Two, three, two it is.
Yes. The stars suggest a most excellent remedy for your problem.
Then out with it, sirrah. What is it?
You are advised to spread a rumor that your cousin Barbara is not the maiden your family believe her to be. Indeed, the stars indicate that she may even be with child.
God's breakfast! What an excellent plan. Indeed, not only would I be safe from this marriage, befouling cousin Barbara's reputation would serve as a fitting punishment for her wicked japes. I thank you, Foreman. You have been most helpful.
Bring me a letter, Tosser. That's it? Mayhaps I go this night to recite rhyming verse outside Marion's bedchamber. I saw that in a play. It worked wondrous well.
Hear ye, hear ye. Spanish Armada nears English coast. Makes and prepares for invasion whilst Queen searches for missing navy. Hear ye.
As Spanish ships near our shores, the Queen's ground troops prepare for what promises to be a blood-soaked slaughter of Englishmen by continental Catholic savages. With England's coast undefended, experts predict Spanish ships will be sailing up the Thames to London within days. Sources in the royal court say the Queen is more than a little vexed by the absence of the Royal Navy, which experts describe as lost.
When she sure to marry, lest he be branded a witch, if Mary sees you keeping cats against you, she must wish, beware of Mistress Mary Page, she is a nosy fox.
Blessed even, Dr. Foreman.
Mistress Payne, what brings you in such weather?
Indeed.
It is most dangerous to be about in it.
Oh, it takes more than a little wind and rain to forestall me from doing the Lord's work. Besides, foul weather is naught but God's righteous vengeance upon London for the sinful debauchery of its inhabitants.
Oh, really? Then I dread to think what northerners get up to of an evening.
Pray heed me carefully, Dr. Foreman, for 'tis on a most pressing matter that I am come. Doubtless you have heard the news.
But
The Spanish Armada does sail once again towards England's shores. It seems this latest
Weird.
Armada was most unexpected.
Well, as 'tis oft said, no one expects the Spanish Armada.
'Tis very grave this time, for I have heard tell that our own warships are far away at sea, and with our coasts undefended, a Catholic horde may soon be sailing up the Thames to slay us all.
Aye, our situation is most grave indeed. But what would you have me tell you, Mistress Payne?
I wish to know whether the English fleet will arrive home in time to defend our shores, or might we ordinary folk be compelled to take up arms to defend ourselves? Dr. Foreman, are you ready to beat off the Catholics, come what may?
Am I ready to beat off? Prithee, madam, let us pray the need never arises. Perchance the stars will offer us some reassurance. Will the Royal Naval Fleet return home in time to defend England from the Spanish Armada?
3, 2, 2. This is fine. Let's just go with that.
Be no longer afeared, Mistress Payne. The Spaniards are soon to be thwarted. Although the Armada does near our shores, its progress is slow. For, according to the stars, the sailors are most idle in nature.
Ah, yes, 'tis a trait oft remarked in continentals.
And they will be punished for this sin of sloth, for their lives are soon to be taken by a most deadly event.
Glory be! And what nature of event might this be? How will England achieve this glorious victory? A fierce sea battle won by our mighty warships? A triumphant charge of our cavalry brigades?
Ah, well, England will use her... let me see now. Ah, yes, these southern continentals will be struck down by England's most terrifying weapon of all, our lamentable weather.
Yes. Well
Button down
played.
your hatches and wrap up warm, Mistress Payne. A violent storm is coming.
Nice. I am most pleased to hear this news, but if Foreman be wrong, may God forgive him, for I will not. Sir, I must express my displeasure with you, for I am exceedingly vexed. You advised me to put it about that my cousin had lost her virtue, and while this did spare me the inconvenience of having to marry her, my aunt and uncle are now calling me a lying knave, among other egregious insults I shall not list here. And now that my cousin cannot marry and will thus be forever an idle spinster, she is about to dedicate her life to destroying mine. Snitches get leeches in their breeches is but one of the many threats she has made against my person. I hope you are happy with the mischief you have wrought, Foreman. Well, that letter's not going well.
Take careful, say, did you hear what the cause of death says about peace? They call up your humans and cause cancer tumors, so doubtless they're causing your God's disease.
Okay, we should be close for this.
Tomorrow, Mr. Mugg. Back again so soon. And yet your red spots do seem to have faded.
Aye, of the spotted fever I am cured, for, as he remarked, those spots have near vanished and no new ones are appearing. But my wife does swear they were the work of fleas, and she beat the rugs and banished the dogs from the house to rid us of them. She'll be beating and banishing me next if she has her way.
Well, I am glad to hear you are faring better. What brings you this day?
I have a humoral imbalance and need treating for it.
A humoral imbalance, you say? Well, 'tis true that an imbalance of humours can affect a man's mood. For instance, an excess of black bile, which is a cold, dry humour, can provoke feelings of melancholy, whereas yellow bile
It
is...
is hot and dry. I thank ye for the explanation, Dr. Foreman, but I did learn all about humours when I took supper with my friend, Mistress Ollingworth. She has a humoral imbalance and takes medicine for it. Hence, I am come this day for medicine to treat my own imbalance.
I see. And what mental symptoms are you experiencing? Any unusual or troubling feelings?
Aye, very troubling. Why, I find myself a fretting and a pacing all the day long. Even my wife has remarked upon it.
Anxiety and agitation. Pray tell, did these feelings begin before or after you spoke with your friend, Mistress Ollingworth?
Let me see now. After, methinks. Aye, after. Why, does that matter?
Yes, quite possibly. But let us see what these stars do have to say. What humoral imbalance does ail my querent, Nicholas Mugg?
Let's go with this.
Have you a diagnosis yet? This day I am to dine with Mistress Ollingworth, and I wish to tell her all about it.
Aye, 'tis done. You have a choleric temperament, brought on by a minor imbalance of yellow bile. It does often induce feelings of irritability and impatience in the sufferer, and in severe cases, it can provoke outbursts of anger.
I see. How very interesting.
We must counter the excess of this hot, dry humour with wet and cooling elements. Take this powder of violets and salt and boil it in some water. Then you must drink the infusion once it is cooled.
I thank ye for this medicine, Dr. Foreman. But may I trouble you for twice the dose of it? For if the symptoms be what you say, I think my wife had best be taking it as well.
Nice. All right, we got two. Mayhaps I secrete the cure into my wife's ale. I do not think she would take kindly to learning she has an imbalance.
Hear ye, hear ye! Spanish Armada sunk by English storm! Hear ye!
Proving once again that God loves England more than our Catholic enemies. So is that more than our Catholic enemies love England? Because I'm sure that could be theoretically true, I suppose. The Spanish naval fleet has been defeated by a mighty storm that has been raging in the English Channel for nigh on 3 days. What remains of the Armada has fled back to Spain. Beachcombers are advised to wait for the storm to abate before looting corpses that have washed ashore.
Here comes our
Oh, this guy again.
Know you how much his father is worth? For such a boy advantage is both, entitled to much, deserving of more.
Nice. Well played.
Oh, sirrah, I have dire need of your counsel.
Pray calm yourself, sir, and tell me of this urgent affair.
Oh, verily, 'tis most urgent. A fair maiden has my heart, a maid with hair of shining gold and eyes so blue the finest sapphires grow pale with envy. But she is a most pious and demure in nature, and has many other suitors. How might I win her favour?
Golden hair? But in our last consultation, let me see here in my notes. Yes, you told me your heart belonged to a maid with hair of onyx black that doth make the finest ebony go grey with envy.
You mean my cousin Marion? Pish! That was naught but a childish fancy. I bid you, foreman, pray focus on the matter at hand. For if you do not help me win my true love's favour, my bursting heart will tear asunder. My soul will wither unto...
Aye, as you will. Let us see what guidance can be had from the stars. How may Lancelot Moore win the heart of this golden-haired maiden?
2, 3, 2.
It would seem the fiercest rival for the maiden's favour is one of our father's business partners. He is a deceitful knave who tells the father lies. You must best him by telling even greater lies. Tell her father you are much wealthier than you verily are,
Oh my
and
God.
he will surely favour
Perfect.
your advances.
A father's business partner, you say? But is he not? Oh, God's teeth! The man is her uncle. If he seeks to wed his niece, I do not think it right. Fie, 'twould be very wrong. I will go to her father and tell him it is better he favour me than bestow his daughter's hand on his own brother. I bid you good day, foreman, for it is most urgent that I deliver the poor girl from such an unnatural fate.
Oh, yes! An uncle who wishes to wed his niece. Who does the scoundrel think he is? King Richard III?
Alice like she likes a drink. She does care not what you think. A habit may end up down the sink, but Alice cares not what you think.
Got it.
Good day, Mistress Black. What brings you?
Oh, Dr. Foreman, I have worked myself into such a state that I have urgent need of you.
Oh, you have you? Well then, let me just,
Yea, I have urgent need of your counsel. I am certain that my husband Blarg is hiding a shameful secret from me. As you doubtless did note from my flushedness of face and heaving of bosom, I burn with the fever of suspicion and curiosity.
Indeed, I did remark a fever upon your person, and wish fervently that I may bring it to a speedy resolution. Let us see. What is this secret that your husband Thomas Blarg hides from you?
2, 4, 1.
Alas, Mistress Blarg, your husband does hide a secret most shameful. I fear he has been engaging in what we learned men call, strumpus humpus cum hominum clarus. To wit, he has been secretly betraying you with one of his fellow clergymen. There, poor lady. It is the distress of shock. Let me comfort you.
Unhand me, Foreman. What boil-brained nonsense you do speak. I have had wiser counsel from Myrtle, the mump-headed alewife at the Quiet Bear. Verily, I think I will repair there presently for a calming ale.
Good. Whatever. Oh! Perhaps Blog's chaplain knows his secret. Methinks I shall make him a pie.
Alas, for mortal, such sorrow she if she was made alive, she has much to mourn. 'Tis vexing, 'tis sorrow she has borne.
Good day, Mistress Delamere.
Good day, Dr. Foreman. 'Tis Lady Dyer now. I remarried after poor Mr. Delamere passed.
Verily? Oh, I am full sorry to hear of your husband's demise, my lady.
In truth, the circumstances of his death trouble me still, for my husband was hanged, Dr. Foreman.
By the saints, he was?
Aye, indeed, for I took him to the hangings at Tyburn, as you advised, to cure his quinsy with the hand of a fresh corpse. But there was some confusion with our transported, and my husband somehow
my
found
God.
himself in the same cart as the men who were to be hanged. And try as not. We could not make the hangman heed our protestations. Oh.
On my word, I did never hear of so tragical an error. Oh, what a ghastly business. You must have been most distressed.
Yes, I was. So I hope you will understand why I worry for the health of my new husband, Lord Dyer. Mayhap 'tis not at all, and yet...
And yet you would wish to know so that you may rest easier. Why, of course, my lady. Pray, describe Lord Dyer's troubles to me, no matter how trifling they may seem to you.
Well, I have noted that my husband awakens many times in the night to make water. Mayhap 'tis the reason why he tires so easily during the day. And he does oft complain of thirst and hunger, even after meals.
Frequent urination, tiredness, dog-like appetite, and thirst. Be there anything else?
There is also a small wound on his hand. It does not appear grave, yet it has not healed, even though it be some weeks since he cut himself.
A wound that will not heal. Then let us see what these stars have to say. Be there any grave illness troubling Mr. John Delamere?
Methinks you mean Lord Henry Dyer, Dr. Foreman.
I beseech your pardon, my lady. What illness troubles Lord Henry Dyer? Seeing Lord Dyer suffers from the diabetes. 'Tis a grave case of it, I am afeard.
God mend me. Then how am I to keep my husband from dying of it?
Well, the consumption of lettuce seeds and barley water can help, and you must not allow him to take honey or sweetmeats. In truth, I am a little concerned about the wound on his lordship's hand, though it be minor. 'Tis the diabetes that prevents it from healing.
Oh, then what should be done about it?
Take Lord Dyer to a barber surgeon, where he may have leeches applied to his wound. This will draw out the corrupt blood to hasten the healing. But prithee, be sure that your husband never cuts himself again, for the corruption of blood such cuts occasion in a sufferer of the diabetes, well, they oftentimes prove fatal.
Oh, then I shall do precisely as you advise, Dr. Foreman. I thank ye heartily, sir.
Oh my
Good
God.
day.
He's gonna kill him too. Honey sweetmeat cuts. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here. This has been part 5 of Astrologaster. We have 2 letters of recommendation now, 6 to go, but we're really close on quite a number of these people. So hopefully in part 6 we'll be able to pick up a few more of those. But this is a really engaging game. It's really, really cool. I dig this. Not enough to play it again to see if I can get screwy stuff, because it is a bit time consuming. But I'm definitely digging what they've done here. So bravo, team who made this. Bravo. Good stuff. But we'll be back with part 6 to see if we can get some more of these letters so we don't get hauled off and thrown in jail or killed or whatever happens. We'll hopefully see you for that one, swears. And until that time, as always, peace out.